I'm Matt Bichard with REIT.com here in Boca Raton, Florida for REITWise 2014, NAREIT's Law, Accounting, and Finance Conference. I'm joined today by Sam Melehani, tax partner with PwC. Sam, thanks so much for taking some time with us.
Thank you for having me.
I'd like to start by talking about the state tax approach to REITs. If you could kind of sum it up, how do most states treat REITs from a tax purpose?
Well, as a general matter, states do allow the dividends paid deduction. So you would start with federal taxable income at the state level, which would include the dividends paid deduction. And then from there, they may make some adjustments, but for the most part, you get to the same treatment as a federal tax. You've got some states that are a little bit different in the sense that they do not tax the REIT, but they tax the entities below it, such as Tennessee, Texas, Washington State. So you do get these anomalies, if you will, where you may have some taxes that may apply at the entity level, sort of indirectly than the REIT, and you could end up paying some income taxes at that level.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned some of the ones that treat REITs differently. Can you elaborate a little bit about sort of what the impact is to the shareholder?
Sure. Well, it's a tax on the entity. It's an indirect impact to the REIT, but it's a tax on the entity. In Texas, for example, the tax is 0.7% of gross receipts that are Texas-based. So it can be significant depending on the amount of income and activities that you have in the entity. And it kind of catches a lot of people by surprise, right? Because their view is, well, I'm setting up and operating as a REIT so that I don't have to pay any income taxes, where in fact I am paying taxes at some level because of these state laws and the application at the lower level.
Has there been any movement in any states to change how they tax REITs?
Oh, there's always constant movement. A lot of states will sit back and think about the dividends paid deduction, particularly if the shareholders of the REIT are not necessarily state-based. They're always wondering, how are we ever going to get that tax back? So they're always looking to tinker with it. The one that just recently looked at this was Hawaii. And in fact, NAREIT with their and team were able to defeat that law. And it was just an outright denial of dividends paid deduction because they just did not like it. And so that's always out there, and you just have to keep your eye out on these states looking at different ways to generate revenue, and this is an easy way to do it. But recently, I'd say probably in the last 5 years, it's recent enough, where states have started looking at captive REITs, private REITs, and really cast a wide net of laws that to try to capture these entities, because there was their view that these entities are really not legitimate REITs per se. And in doing so, really did a very wide spread of laws that impacted otherwise good private REITs. Until today, these laws are still impacting these private REITs in a way that is unintended, but it's still negative for them.
And lastly, are there any other real estate-related tax issues on the state level that you're keeping your eye on that could impact REITs?
Well, we talked about the private REIT issue. That one continues to be a problem, and I think it will continue to stay with us for a long time. So it's something to worry about, particularly in the context of privately held REITs, baby REITs below the publicly traded REITs. Those we always have to keep your eye on, especially in a mergers and acquisitions type of environment. The one tax that is really I keep a close eye on is the transfer tax. It has become a great source of revenue for the states and the localities, which are, in some cases broke and they're looking for revenue sources. Transfer tax has become a big deal, particularly its application more than once. So whenever there's a transaction that's occurring where assets are being moved around within the organization before they're sold outright to a third party, the transfer tax could apply every single time you move it. So you really have to be careful and watch these taxes. And then you look at jurisdictions like in California, where at the city and county level, they can change their laws with a simple vote by the city council. So overnight, we could have no transfer tax overnight, a transfer tax at a significant amount of dollars that gets passed, just like that. And it's a pretty scary environment in that sense. Particularly when you're dealing with 200 and some odd counties and cities, you just constantly have to follow the laws and see what's happening. But it is just a very rapid change in the law that I'm keeping an eye on it because it's got broad implications.
Sam, thanks so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
For more on this and more news from REITWise 2014, be sure to visit REIT.com.